Hello, welcome back. And so we're now looking at the Matic chart, a bit of an update as to where we left off earlier. And let's just start by congratulating Matic on such a good move. Look at where we are at the moment against the Bitcoin pair, 41, 42, and moving up percent gains on the Satoshi level. That is a nice, tasty little move. So now let's have a little look a bit closer and see if we can make heads or tails of what's going to happen here and what this all means. So let's start off by looking at Bitcoin versus Matic. So Bitcoin, first of all, if we all know what happened today and what's currently happening, Bitcoin is retracing. It's correcting a huge amount. I'm not entirely sure of the actual amount right now, but I'm guessing it's down to about 30% or more. And it's brought most altcoins down with it, but right from the beginning, right from the outset, Matic was holding strong. Now I can put this down to a few things. First of all, we hit an all-time low here. I say an all-time low, a very, very all-time low of recent times of 120 Satoshis. That triggered a huge bounce. We've had Matic accepted on one exchange which was live today and another exchange which was announced. So we've got two pieces of good news. We've also got good news coming in the next few days. At the end of the month there's going to be certain parts of the network that are going to go live, which is definitely going to help it. And it's not the mainnet, that's the main one, that's what we're waiting for. Mainnet is really going to cause a bit of a boost for the price. But generally speaking, we've got all those things converging all at once, and Bitcoin falling, and we've basically become the biggest mover on Binance today. So let's have a look at a bit closer technical analysis, see where we can what we can make out of this. Okay, so all-time low here. So let's put that in here. We've got an all-time low current support down at 120 Satoshis. Okay, if we ever fall back down there again, which we may do, you know what Matic's like. We could easily fall back down there, but if we do, that's where we'd expect to bounce. Currently, after we did find that bounce, we've got rejected around here, which makes more sense when we look at it on the US dollar value. This is where we were. We found a bounce on the resistance being the 200 EMA. Let's go back to Satoshis. So it's kind of similar here, but not as prominent as it would look if it was the US dollar value. But what does appear to be more prominent is that we are using this moving average here, which is the 7-day close, as support. And it seems like we've climbed up that as a little ladder throughout the day, and we're coming down again now to test it, which should bring us down to about 170. Well, it's moving up with us quite dramatically actually, so we'll just call it 174 Satoshis. That should hopefully become a support again for us. If we can bounce from there, then it's looking good. Then we're going to make our way up to the around about 192 Satoshis, and see if we can break that, which is the resistance obviously. It might just be beneath that. We'll call it 189 Satoshis. This EMA is sloping down, and it will continue to slope down probably for another day before it levels out, and if we continue with this trend then it will bend up and then the trend will begin to reverse. So let's have a look at the US dollar pairing. So I say the tether pairing. Okay, so a little bit messier when you look at it on this chart. It's definitely messier. It's a lot easier to look at it on the Satoshi value. And I think when I'm going to make these videos, I will actually start looking at that more frequently. Now that we've seen that there's a correlation between Bitcoin and Matic, almost like reversing their trends, doing the opposite of each other actually. I think we'll probably look at the Satoshi value more than we'll look at the tether value really. I'll study these charts a little bit closer. I've only just got back from work, so what's going on here then? So we are bouncing on these moving averages, but it's not as clear as it was on the Satoshi level. We're probably going to come down to test this. We've had a rejection from it already, so it's a nice cushion on the support there. So that's the 50-day close. We're bouncing from there, and the 21-day close. They're both moving pretty well side by side from each other. That should hopefully bounce us, and then we'll go up around here. So that we're looking to break above 2 cent and stay above 2 cent, and that 2 cent, like I was saying with the Satoshi level, that 2 cent should then begin to act as a support like it used to do for us. Now, let's not get too excited. Let's look at where we are really. We are, we're down. We're very down. we're not in any way recovered at all. We've only just begun to make a move, and really this move, we've seen moves like this before. Look at these moves here. I mean, we've seen moves like this before, and nothing came of it. So let's not get too excited. But one thing we can say is that it definitely has been one of the biggest movers today, if not the biggest mover. Yeah, it has. 18% up against Tether, and it was 40 something up against Bitcoin. So you got to give it its credit where credit's due. It's stood up very, very well against all odds. While all the other coins fall, Matic refused to, which is just as well, to be honest, because any further down and it would have been a very, very sad day for Matic. So let's have a little pencil in and see where this is coming. So I'd probably say if we continue with our trend, this is what we're going to start to look like. That'll be our EMA, and hopefully our EMA will then turn to support, and we can start to pick up where we left off and make some higher highs. One thing I will show you though that I did spot a moment back is it's just watch this, okay? So if we continue with this trend, okay, these are nice and pointy and erect, and all these moving averages will then soon start to poke up above this 200 EMA, okay, if we continue with this trend. And this trend is going to have to continue like this perhaps for maybe a day or two for it to do that, maybe 3. If it does that, let me show you something here. So the last time we did that, all those moving averages poked above the 200 EMA. This is what happened, okay? So we were kind of looking a little bit like this little area that we were in before, a little bit like this. Anyway, when the moving averages poked up above it, it did create this nice little move here, and I say a little move, it's a little move for Matic, and I'll show you something else. So let's just say this is where it crossed here. That is it's a 30, almost 38% move to its high over the space of 4.5 days. Not too shabby. And let's have a look at when it did it prior to that. Okay, so the time before when it did that. So we were. This isn't related at all. I mean, it's just an example of what happens when this cross is created. So the 200 EMA way above us, downward slope. All the other moving averages slowly going up. They made a cross here, and when this cross was created, we'll just call it there. What kind of move were we looking at now? Oh, go on, computer. Right, let me start that one again. Sorry about that. So yeah, let's just say it was around. Let's just say it was here. We're looking at, from top to bottom, we're looking at an 800% increase in its value. So this area is probably more likely than that. We're not likely to see this again for perhaps a very long time. This kind of move. That was an unnatural move, So we'll disregard that. But this one here, 38% move last time it crossed. It's kind of what I'm hoping for if we see this cross take place again. Bitcoin needs to continue to fall, or it also needs to remain as it is for us to kind of have any chance. It seems as though at the moment when Bitcoin moves up, Matic suffers from that, or at least when it moves up at the speed it was moving. Because if Matic can't move up at that same speed that Bitcoin moves up, its Satoshi level falls by default because it's being overtaken by Bitcoin. So that's one thing that we appear to be vulnerable to. So let's just see how this one goes. At the moment, yeah, we are looking like we're testing and actually just breaking beneath that 7-day close, which we're hoping to turn to support. We'll give it a little longer. If that fails to break, then I imagine the 50-day close should act as a support as well, and that should help push us up. So it's just a matter of waiting to see where we go and seeing what Bitcoin does. I imagine Bitcoin's going to have a few bounces, people scalping, people trying to buy dips. Me personally, I'm not into buying that dip on Bitcoin. It's not for me right now. I'm going to wait to see how far it goes. I I still think it's got a deeper correction that's going to play out over a period of weeks, perhaps, in incremental falls and dips in its price. And I don't really have the time to be sitting around scalping markets. I'm just going to watch that one play out. Now, obviously, I'm invested in Matic. I'm just holding on to this for the long run. I like to look at these charts. I like to try and work out some kind of strategy with it. But really, I'm not trading at the moment. I'm flat. I'm not really doing anything. Just holding on to my coins and seeing where it goes, and see if I can spot some kind of pattern, which we may have found some kind of pattern. It's a strange one, obviously, because we want all the coins to benefit. We don't want to be hoping Bitcoin goes down and so Matic goes up. I hope that we can somehow break free of that kind of strange trend. But like I say, we've got a few more days to go towards the end of the month when those releases take place, and yeah, we've got more trading platforms for Matic. So there's a few reasons and a few things to look forward to. Anyway, I'll leave it with you there. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more. Keep your notifications on, because I do make Matic updates daily. Anyway, thanks a lot. Take it easy. Goodbye.